Hey, how you doing? Okay, so hasn't it become interesting this battle, this war that's happening about whether there should be able to be transgender people or not? You don't even know what to call the war because it's so ridiculous. Because it's like archaeology proves there's always been transgender people. So it's a ridiculous point to argue that there's no such a thing because we know there's such a thing. The question is, what does it mean, but that's exactly why the transgender people have won the battle, because it's just a matter of time before the obvious ridiculousness of their perspective is gonna phase out. It's gonna fade away, because it's like if you ask around and you ask people, most people at this point, they're just confused. They don't get why it's such a big deal to these religiosos. They're like, why does it matter? Why is it such a big deal? Like, what are they so upset about? And so, like, obviously the next step they're gonna be trying to figure out why they're so upset. Like, what's so upsetting about it? Because for one thing, they say stupid things like there's no such a thing as a third gender, but it's an obvious need to modernize our society that we have more than one gender, because there's always been another gender, and then with science we learn that gender is a spectrum, so we know that reality is that there's more than one gender. So we just need to catch up with reality, kind of, because it's become so obvious of a need. There's no need to be killing people and hurting people and slowing people down and stopping people from doing what they need to be healthy and happy. There's no reason to do that. So you have to ask yourself, so what is it that they're up to? So you have to understand their history. They come from a history of killing the heretics and killing people that disagree with them. The mob rules, so for one thing, anything different hasn't been bred into humanity, because if you're someone that dares to be a free thinker and dares to rise above that, they'd kill you, so then your genes don't get passed on. So it's obviously going to be deeply ingrained, even on a biological level, that people don't think for themselves. So hopefully we're evolving to a new era where there'll be more and more free thinkers. And that's why people are saying, why are they so upset? Well, because like if you've been in complete control of everyone's mind for thousands of years, and then because they have to, like, they believe that God's a man in the sky and that the Bible's is a literal word, and so they have to, and they believe that this God is the same today, yesterday, and forever. But we know with archaeology and history that God's change as the people's needs for that God change, that all gods are made by the hand of man. All reality is a controlled illusion, and everything's a perspective. So that's why things evolve and modernize, and there's updates. So that if you suddenly lost control, so for them that's why they're so upset, because if you can prove that a person's life can be made better by being on the hormones and doing the surgeries and stuff, then basically they've disproved their deity, which says that that all evil things just result in evil consequences. So it makes their deity look bad, so that's really what they're protecting. So that's why you're like, oh, why are they so upset at how other people live their lives? Just let them do whatever they want, because their history is that they're trying to control how people live their lives and what they think and stuff. So that's like super alarming. It's a competition, And if you just simply look at, like, they're like, trans women shouldn't be allowed in the bathroom type thing, And so you want me showering next to your son in the shower? Maybe I can titty fuck him or jerk him off with my vagina or something, It's like they believe they're like chromosomes are the difference, even though hormones are what does. Why don't they ever talk about the hormones? Because they know that we take hormones. It'll make them look bad, but yet Hormones are what does most of the things that are different between men and women, and how you think and feel and what you do and your drives and everything. That's hormones, you know? And then, like, it's so easy to see how ridiculous they are, but because everything's a perspective, you can just in your mind create a different perspective, especially if you're protecting something like that's so obviously about ready to become out of date. So you can see why they're so upset, especially in the middle of a narcissist epidemic.